From John Manziel, Tim, you're a freight train. I heard you mention you scaled at about 2 products monthly. Has this changed? No, this has not changed. So in a little over 3 years, I now have over 120 ASINs. A month and a half ago, I launched about 13 new products, and I have about 12 new ASINs that are supposed to be arriving around December 15th or so. Okay. Although I'm pushing it because it's really tough to scale your Amazon business with Amazon money. Meaning, I'm gonna put my product up for sale, and with the profits, then I'm going to start my next product. And with those profits, I'm gonna start my third product. It typically doesn't work like that. You typically you get in there, your product starts selling, then it starts selling even better, and then it requires more money, and all of your profit is locked up in inventory. And the only time you really start to see your bank account start growing is when those products kind of level off, and then you don't launch any more products for a while. Then you'll start seeing your bank account start growing, okay? Now, thankfully for myself is, this wasn't my first venture into entrepreneurship. I've kind of done entrepreneurial things ever since I was about 20 years old. I was a real estate agent. I flipped cars. Not flipped cars, but I bought and resold cars on Craigslist. I did retail arbitrage. I did online arbitrage. I had a local business. So I've kind of been that's kind of like how I've been ever since I got out of high school. I only went to college for 6 months. But throughout all of these different business ventures, every single one, I always lived simple, all right? I wasn't driving all these baller rides, everyone's got this sick ride, right? I lived simple, and I saved my money, okay? Because I knew that those business models probably weren't going to last forever, right? You can't make a lifetime living off of flipping cars on Craigslist. Real estate, it was before real estate totally crashed, quite a few years ago. And also retail and online arbitrage, I saw the writing on the wall that this was getting really hard to scale. You're having to go get 5 products here, 10 products there. It was a lot of hustle and bustle, and more people were figuring out about it. So when private label came along and I was able to really jump into it, and it was a lot of my skills transferred over from these other types of things I've been doing, I had capital to really just go in. Once I figured out the blueprint, I was like, okay, I can launch. That also being said, there's a lot of people who are very conservative Amazon sellers, and there's nothing wrong with that. Very conservative, right? And there's people who live very conservative when it comes to investing. I'm not a very conservative person, right? I'm actually I have a high risk tolerance, and I'm extremely aggressive, right? That's the only way you can go from 800,000 to 4.2 million to 8 million to probably close to 14 million this year. That's the only way you can step on the gas and never let off, okay? So I don't mind taking out loans for my business for products that I know are selling well. I made a video on this, right? So I have a $200,000 loan from Amazon. I have credit cards with $100,000 limits that I use up and pay off every single month. And so this aspect of pushing it and putting the pedal to the floor, and it's just what I do. It's just kind of how I've always been, all right? You don't have to do that and be successful at Amazon. You only need 3 or 4 products to probably, maybe even 3 products to take over your 9-to-5 income. All right, you probably only need 3 to 4 max, right? And then you're already taking over your old income, right? But for me, I've always been man, let's go hard, and so I just keep going, right? The only recently, so it's been 3.5 years. Only recently have I been I'm getting a little tired. Maybe I won't launch products for a couple months. Nah, then I'll take one, then I'll sleep good for 2 nights, and I'm let's go, we need another 10, right? So yes, I've been actually averaging probably more products now. I was doing 2 a month, but now it's probably going higher. But I'm kind of hitting the limit capital wise. Like you can only spread yourself so thin and keep going after products. Like if you look on Jungle Scout, right, or Viral Launch, and you see a product that does 50,000 a month, like think of how much money it takes to keep that thing in stock. All right? You can't just add 10 of those. You'll never stay in stock. So I'm kind of hitting my limit right now with that. I've sold a lot of different other investments I had to just keep putting it in Amazon, but that's the answer to that one. All right, so next one. This next question is, when do you give up on a product? That's kind of like the one someone asked, when do you fold a product? So